agosto, or August. I arrived in Brazil on the 8th of August, and that's when I started really making more friends and understanding what the country was like. When I first got there, I barely knew any Portuguese, and I was really nervous. So this was my first month in Brazil. First things first, I got to know the town. In this picture, you can see I am climbing a tree because there was fruit everywhere. Walking down the street, there were mango trees, there were pineapples growing out of the ground, bananas hanging from the sky, basically. And here I was getting passion fruit out of my grandmother's tree in her backyard. And that was one thing that I found amazing, that there was just, while it was cold out, this was the coldest weather. This is winter, and you can see I'm wearing shorts and I'm up in the tree. Here is the fountain in the praça that I mentioned, where every night after 8 o'clock, I believe, on the weekends, they play old big band music, like Frank Sinatra, and a lot of English music, because our American culture has a big effect on Brazilian culture as well. So they mostly make jazz and stuff like that play from the fountain. Something you might not know about Brazil is that there are walls around all of the houses. Because of the high rate of burglary and all of the theft that takes place, people build big walls, often with electrical wiring along the top. In my first month there, I forgot my keys. I was locked outside of my house, and I was left with no other option than to climb the wall to get into my house. My parents thought it was funny, but started calling me a monkey immediately afterwards. Here were the people that took me in. If I could describe Brazilians as anything, it would be friendly. These people didn't know me, but the moment I walked into school, they were like, we're gonna go get ice cream, we're gonna get pizza, we're gonna be best friends. And they're talking a mile a minute, and I didn't understand anything they were saying. But luckily, my friend Pedro Paulo spoke a little English. He comes up to me and he goes, "You are vegetarian." "Me too." And a friendship blossomed. This is me with my friends who were seniors in high school. And this is Camila. She was the only other exchange student in my city. She was from Mexico and became my best friend. These are more pictures of my friends, where I was in the grade below them because I was a little younger, but they were all in Camila's grade as seniors. One of the most memorable experiences that I couldn't have predicted would have happened is, as you guys know, the 2016 Olympics were held in Brazil. I was lucky enough to get tickets to go to the Olympics. My counselor from Rotary gifted me with these tickets to go see a soccer game, Honduras versus South Korea, and I actually had a cold at that time because when I arrived in Brazil, I wasn't used to it, and I was getting used to all of the different pollens, and there were so many different kinds. I didn't know whether I had an allergy, but I got there, and even though I had a cold and I was feeling terrible, there was no way not to enjoy it. You can see this giant arena, and it's really dark here, but we were holding a Brazilian flag, and it was a very memorable experience. It was very funny because though these Brazilians neither knew Honduras nor South Korea, they were screaming and cheering the whole time. Don't take soccer away from a Brazilian. It's their passion. Here is Camila, who I'll mention later. We became very close within our exchange year because when you're two people that arrive in a foreign country, not knowing the language very well, you're bound to get closer. Camila knew English pretty well, and she taught me some Spanish, and she became my best friend. Here I want to talk about some of the food, because when I got there, the food was not what I expected. I didn't know what I expected, but it definitely wasn't this. We would walk down, I went to dinner and lunch every single day, beans and rice. And I don't know how they do it, but this beans and rice tastes so good, and it's just beans and rice. I don't know what they do to it, but it just tastes so good. I've tried to make it here, and it's just not the same. But they eat that every day, and they came to me and they said, "Morgan, what do you guys eat every day?" I'm like, "Oh, well, one day I'll have a salad, maybe a sandwich, or a soup," but they were confused that we didn't have a staple every day like they have rice and beans. Here I wanted to show you some of the fruit. I have, this is a buchicaba tree where the fruit grows on the trunk of the tree. And you pick it off and you eat it. And I found it very strange at first, but it's very yummy. Here we have a passion fruit, which we would make fresh squeezed juice every day for lunch, and I would drink that. Here is pão de queijo. Pão de queijo literally translates to cheese bread, Brazilian cheese bread, which is very specific to my state. My state, Minas Gerais, is famous for cooking, has less worldly influence, and it's very rich in Brazilian culture. This is a food that I fell in love with in Brazil. It's called açaí. It's like if you were eating ice cream, but in heaven. It's made from the açaí tree, which is found in the Amazon, which is frozen and blended to make a sort of ice cream. My favorite toppings on it are leite condensado e morango, strawberries and condensed milk, which I thought condensed milk was the weirdest thing until I tried it. Really good. While I was at the Olympics, my counselor, Anna, who helped me a lot throughout my year, took me to Belo Horizonte